I feel like I ask this question every transfer window, or at least for the last few. What's the update on Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, slight update in the last 24 hours, and that's because Borussia Dortmund, a team that he knows very well, having joined Manchester United for 73 million from Borussia Dortmund back in 2021, are interested in taking him on loan again. Now, he did go on loan to Dortmund at the back half of the 23-24 season, got to the Champions League final, someone who they absolutely love out in Germany. He's played some of his best football for Borussia Dortmund. We know that Chelsea didn't activate that option to buy him from Manchester United. But of course, there is still interest. We know that there's interest from Serie A as well. Juventus are very keen. One of the Milan clubs like him. But of course, they may just struggle with doing his wages. He's a very well-paid player at Manchester United. He's got 1 year left. Manchester United may have to do a little bit of the heavy lifting with regards to his wages to facilitate a potential loan deal. Their preference is to try and let him go permanently. But of course, it's just about the best offer on the table that they feel, right, that's the one we want to accept. Is Jadon Sancho happy to go to Borussia Dortmund or to go to Italy? That'll be his choice. But there are teams that are interested. But it's all about one thing and one thing only, which is how we started this show. The money.
The moolah.
The money. The big bucks.
United had held internal conversations to whittle down a shortlist that had 3 leading names on it, maybe the last time we spoke, in Ollie Watkins, Benjamin Sesko and Nicholas Jackson. About 7 days ago, they decided that Jackson doesn't look feasible. And I think the only thing that would change that is if Chelsea come calling for Alejandro Garnacho, which is not beyond the realms of possibility, but also that Jackson price drops and significantly. So nothing active there. And that leaves 2, Benjamin Sesko and Ollie Watkins. Last week, again, talks were held with the Watkins side and with Aston Villa, even though some Villa sources tried to downplay it. And Manchester United asked the question and were told 60 million and a Villa preference to keep. So now, if Villa got a replacement or that price was to drop, Manchester United might go in that direction. Otherwise, Benjamin Sesko is still on the radar. Remember, 12 months ago, Manchester United made a pitch. Sesko decided to stay at Leipzig. Arsenal and Chelsea were there at that point. Now the Sesko deal is going to come down to whether the price drops, because Leipzig still want in excess of 80 million euros. Manchester United's valuation is much closer to 70 million euros. And as you say, there's also this possibility that Newcastle get that deal over the line too. And if Manchester United want Sesko, they're going to have to be quicker than for Ollie Watkins, because Newcastle are advanced on the player side. They're in club-to-club talks. They're ready to bid. Manchester United is still having an internal debate and conversation. And as a consequence, that outreach for both Watkins and Sesko is still formative. But I get the impression this is a big week in the pursuit of a number 9, because if it's Sesko, Manchester United are going to have to get moving. If we hear a bit of a lull, it probably means they're looking for proven Premier League experience and they genuinely believe that Watkins might become available. But right now, there's more clarity to the picture. Sesko and Watkins are the 2 names that Manchester United are actively working on.
Well, we'll get into the between us amongst the studio. We'll get into the actual options that we've got in terms of Watkins and Sesko and who we might prefer. Flex, I'm just going to chuck over to you here, though. We talk about those internal discussions about bringing this, elusive number 9 in. Is there a realm? I'm going to pivot here. Is there a realm where Hojlund, from what we've seen so far, can he muscle his way into this squad and can he still be an option, or do you consider a striker to come through the door pivotal?
No, I think a striker is definitely pivotal. I think, from what we've seen from the media and a few on the ground here, Manchester United are looking for a number 9. Fact. That is what is happening. So I think the feeling is that, Ruben has seen that position as somewhere that needs to be strengthened. And I think that's the right thing amongst other things. I think Rasmus Hojlund was thrown into the deep end really early in his career. Of course, no real choice over or control over the price tag on which he came to us for. And after the first season, I think he actually looked all right. I think there was a large portion of us that was like, okay, this kid's quite raw, but there's something to work with. I don't think we envisioned a season quite like this in the last season, not just for the team, but specifically for him. Because you don't go from looking decent in the first season, 16 goals, you think there's more work to be done, to all of a sudden, it's one of the worst signs. Something's gone wrong in between, which of course we finished 15th and look at what happened to the whole team. So I do feel it for him a little bit there, but I still understand that Manchester United should have somebody more experienced or of a higher level in that situation, either to help him to learn off or of course to play instead. So I think we definitely need a striker for sure. I think that, we scored 44 goals last season. Which is just a ridiculously poor return for us. So for me, yes, absolutely right. We need to be looking for a striker. Benjamin Sesko and Watkins, I like the links. We'll talk more about those individually, but just on Rasmus Hojlund, I think he's struggled so much. His confidence is shot. He's got nobody to learn off. He's got no support. And I think it's the right move to look for number 9 for sure.